Hello and welcome to Book Bliss. I need to set the record straight. On my last video, I did a book review on the book Where We Fall by Rochelle Weinstein. I mistakenly at the end of the video said the name of the book was Where We Fall, which is correct, but I said Rachel instead of Rochelle Weinstein. So please, Where We Fall by Rochelle Weinstein. And please go read that book and just let me know what you think. It is very interesting, as I said before. And if you haven't seen that video, go back and take a look at that. So this week, I want to talk about why did I start this YouTube channel dedicated to books, talking about books, authors, and all those kind of things. Well, as all people on BookTube, I love to read. I love books. I love talking about books. I love talking about ideas for books. I love talking about the authors. I love talking about how I would have changed the book or what I would have written on the book. So that's the main reason why. And I wanted to be creative with it. I had in the past, as I said, read a lot of books, but I never was really involved in the community. And so now I wanted to do that. And the other reason why was when I was looking and reviewing the channels and looking at the channels for the books, I didn't see very many people that looked like me. That is, they weren't my age, they weren't my color, and they really didn't talk about the books that I like to talk about. So there was a space, I thought, to be able to do that and look at that, and that's why I wanted to do that. So the other question, what unique and fun things can you bring to BookTube or YouTube? Well, of course, like everybody, we all have our unique and different personalities. And I have a few ideas that I want to bring forth, but I just got to get more versed on what I'm doing just in the here and now. So I do have some ideas. I belong to a little, we started a little reading group for little people, like 5 to 8. And they talk about the books they want. And so I have an idea to bring them on board with that. What is most exciting about this channel? Just being able to do it. Just being able to take the time out to sit down and do it. Because it takes a little bit of planning to get it done. A little bit of time management. So it's just those things. Why do you love reading? Why do I love breathing? I just read To Kill a Mockingbird. That was one of the classics I decided I wanted to read. And one of the quotes, which I'm not going to get it exact, but it says something like this: how can she tell me not to read? That's like telling me not to breathe. I'm very much paraphrasing that, but that's the gist of it. It's like saying for me not to read, or why do I love reading, is like saying, why do you want to breathe? It just is a part of who I am. What book or series got you reading? Okay, so I am 58 years old. So I started reading a long time ago. I remember sitting at my desk in school at recess. Everybody else was outside playing, and I was sitting at my desk reading my book. So I do recall as a series, as a small child or a young child, reading the Nancy Drew series, you know, those really detective series. And those are the first kind of series I remember reading. But I have always read, whether it's been series or individual books, and all different kinds of books. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? I have only seen a few booktubers, but I would ask them, you know, did you ever really feel like giving up on it? What kept you going? What made you decide to keep going with it? And I suspect their answer would be, hey, I just love reading, and this was a creative space for me. And I'm not a writer. I can think of ideas that I might want to write about if I were a writer, but I'm certainly not a writer. And I think that the discipline and the skill and the craft that an author brings to a story, you really can't, that has to be something in your soul. Challenges to overcome. My challenges, of course, are just the technological part of this, putting it together, seeing what attracts people to look at your channel. I'm not really interested in, you know, being like this over popular person. I just want to have a few people that I can talk to and form a community around. Where do you read? I read everywhere. I read in the grocery store, waiting in the line. I read in the car before I get ready to get out and go to work. I read in the bathroom. I read in the living room. I watch TV and read. I read everywhere there is to read. I take my Kindle everywhere with me, and I read everywhere. What kind of books do you read? Now, everybody knows that I love romance, and I have stepped out this year and made my challenge that I am going to read other types of books. So I made my January challenge, and my January goals I met, and I'll talk about those in another video. But I read all kinds of books. My preferred genre is romance. I do like mysteries and thrillers. I'm beginning to appreciate memoirs, and it really does depend on the person. So I love all kinds. This YouTube has been really challenging and to my creative self, and I would love to continue doing it and continue learning and to continue taking advice from people. So please subscribe, talk to me on the comments, and thank you for subscribing. And we'll see you next time.